Hello everyone, this is me, Edward West Summers. So, I've gotten some more recent books lately, and some more comics and stuff. So this is going to be a video of me, of recent comics, either recent comics that I got throughout so far, throughout November so far, or stuff that I'm currently reading through. So I was going to show off what I got, maybe give my thoughts on it, give a little talk about discussion about the story and whatnot. So I'm gonna start off. I have been reading. I got this back in March, and this is the Legend of Zelda. Sorry. Okay, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of not Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Seasons. There's a game called that. Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages Legendary Edition manga. So far, I've read all of because it's two separate chapters. I'm going to try to see if I can open this up. It's two separate books. It's two separate volumes, separate little small volumes. So starts off with Oracle of Seasons, which has 10 chapters, and then it continues on with Oracle of Ages. So I think I'm at chapter 4 of Oracle of Ages. I've read all of Oracle of Seasons. This has such great artwork, and then it's a special thing that they did for the legendary editions of all the Zelda manga. The first few pages are in color, so let's see if I can get that looks great. Now I'm not gonna show off the whole book, but I'm gonna get little stuff. So it's really nice. It's really nice. So the story is Link, this incarnation, is a farm boy, and he wants to be an adventurer, and then he ends up uh, leaving his farm to go. I think he goes to Hyrule to go train, if I remember correctly. He goes to Hyrule to go train, and he's given the sword that was passed down from his father and whatnot. So this is where the color pages end. So as the story goes on, there is the Oracle of Seasons, who is Din. I'm going to try to find a picture of Din. That's the bad guy right there, General Onyx. Let me see. Where is she at? There she is. This is Din. So he meets her at a caravan that he stays at for a little bit. She gets taken by General Onyx, and he has to go save her, and he ends up having a little party in the Seasons manga, which I thought was it reminded me of how Final Fantasy has little teams, little parties of groups of people. So let me see. There it is. So it's he has his little chick, Pyoko, that talks to him, and then he is joined by Ricky the kangaroo, the talking kangaroo that has punching gloves, and then Mabel the witch. There she is, Mabel the witch, who is trying to get because the reason why Din was taken was because it had something to do. The bad guy wanted the Rod of Seasons, and she wanted it for herself, so she ends up joining, but she ends up helping out. I haven't read as I said, I haven't read all of the Oracle of Seasons manga. I mean, I've read all of Seasons. I haven't read all of Ages. But this is a good book. I mean, I think it's good that if people that are wanting to get into manga, but they don't want to have to read a huge story, volume after volume after volume, this is a good I would say this is good. This is good, like if people are just starting out into reading manga, because this is just, you get the whole story in one book. You get the whole story in well, two separate stories, but it makes one continuous thing. And there's 21 chapters overall between both, and then it comes with a little bonus short version of Oracle of Seasons. But I highly recommend this. I'm in the process. I would like to get the rest of the Zelda Legendary Editions. I'd like to get like Ocarina of Time, and Four Swords would be fun. So, but yeah, I definitely recommend this, and this is only it's only $17.99. I'd say it's worth it. It's worth getting this because you get the whole story, you get color pages. The book in itself is like the artwork, even the black and white artwork. It looks almost like they should. I've seen people say like they need to make an anime out of this, and I completely agree because this just looks so well drawn and so just. I love the story and whatnot, and I mean it's nothing. I mean, obviously it's nothing overly mature. It's more I'd say it's more like a simple. If you want like a simple kind of fun adventure type manga, I definitely recommend this. And I've also read. I have the original version of the Majora's Mask manga, and that was another one I enjoyed too. Um, Although I felt that I haven't read the Ocarina of Time manga, I felt like that would have been more complete reading Ocarina of Time and then Majora's Mask. So I don't know what that is. Ugh, I'm gonna move that away. Okay, so continuing on, we have. I've already had the first two volumes of this, and I got volume 3 recently. I've been reading through it. I haven't read much of it lately, but I got Angel and Faith, Volume 3, Family Reunion by Christos Gage. Oh, I forgot to mention, Akira Himekawa did, and it's a duo of female artists. They did this. Okay, but moving on from that. Christos Gage and Rebecca Isaacs. I love what I've read of Christos Gage's work. He was one of the writers on the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man game, and he wrote this, and it's really well done, and it's um, I won't go too much into story details, but Willow shows up in this. The art is really nice. I mean, it's not like they try to make it like on the covers. They try to make it look as close to the show as possible, but the interior art it doesn't match up with this, but it's still really nice art. Um, so Willow shows up in this, and then they bring Angel's son Connor back, and he's like interested now. But like I said, it's a pretty good book, and I really would like to get I really would like to get. I got this I think for $8 at Second and Charles, and I've enjoyed it so far. Um, I really hope. I don't know if I'll be able to get like because this was season 9, because this was like when they brought Buffy back in comic form in 2008, I believe. They did Buffy season 8, and then when they started up on Buffy season 9, they did this book, which was Angel and Faith, and they had both books be like concurrent, like they had both books go on at the same time, and they had like I think they did cross like they had characters cross over to kind of make it seem kind of like how what the shows sort of did early on. I'd say crossovers are a bit more frequent than what the shows did. Well, not too frequent, but I mean they still pop up and stuff. So, great read. I wouldn't recommend getting family reunion first. There is another one. Oh, I don't know if I have to look up what the name of it is, but I recommend getting. I'd say get like volume 1 before you get anything. Before you get this volume there. So next I've been reading through Batman Detective Comics Rebirth Volume 1 Rise of the Batman. So I'm kind of nowadays I'm kind of mixed on Batman, but I love the Bat family. And so I mean having at least a few members, having like Tim Drake and Spoiler and Cassandra Cain as Orphan is pretty cool. I have always said one thing I really loved about this book. I've always said, at least since I've read or since I've played Arkham City, I've always wanted to see a story where Clayface tried being like they tried to redeem Clayface and have him be a good guy. And they do that in this book, and I'm really happy that they do that in this book. I mean, the basic. I'm trying to open the thing. Basically, I mean, the story is. I mean, it's nothing complex. It's just there's this new group of this new organization, and they're trying to take down members of the Bat family, or at least the ones in this book. So they bring them together, and Batwoman and Batman they train them. I remember I read the first issue or two of this back when it came out, and I also read this book when I also read this book after I think it was A Lonely Place of Living. It was when they brought Tim Drake back in the books. It was after the Oz Effect. It was I think Oz Effect and No Place Like Home. I got the book and I stayed with it up until the end of the run. So I'm hoping I can get the other trades of this because I like what they were doing with this, or what James Tinian the Fourth. I hope I said that last name right. I really liked what he was doing with that. I'll have to get back into that eventually. So next, let's see. Next, I got issue 5 of Swordmaster. I was afraid because my local comic book shop at the time didn't have issues 2, 3, 4, and I was afraid I was going to have to get them digitally. But then when I went this past week, back on Thursday, they had issues 2, 3, and 4, which I'm really happy about because on Amazon, I think it's either this issue or issue 3. It's like $30 now. So I'm happy I was able to get this for the regular $4 price. So, and the story is just the Swordmaster. His name is Lin Lee. The story is his dad is an archaeologist. His dad finds this mystical sword. I don't think the sword has a name, as far as I know. So far I've only read issue 1, but the story is his dad goes missing. The sword arrives at Lin Lee's house, and then he gets the sword and he's trying to find out more about the sword and find his dad. So that's what the story is. They both so far this, and I don't know if the other comic that came out, Arrow, if that has AERO Arrow, if that has a backup story, but this comic has a backup story. So the main story is written by this Chinese writer Shuizu. I hope I said that right. Shuizu. Uh, uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, if that isn't the name in the comics, or if that isn't the name in the I said comics in the comments, if I pronounce that right. Shuizu wrote the main plot, and then there's a backup story where Shang-Chi mentors him about like different training and stuff, and I thought that was really interesting. Greg Pak writes the backup story, and Greg Pak also translates he translates the main plot, and then he writes the backup plot. I've really enjoyed this so far. And it hasn't been SJW. It hasn't been any of this crap. He's really cool. I love the artwork. It's really nice. It's a really good story, and I recommend it. I really hope this does well, because recent issues have shipped. I think issue 2 or 3 or whatever have shipped less issues, and I'm worried this is gonna get canceled. But I really like this story so far. What I've read of it, I need to see about reading issue 2. But I like this, and I think this issue will be really cool because he'll be teaming up with Doctor Strange. Okay, so we got Swordmaster out of the way. So, let's see. Next, I got some Retro Flash issues. This isn't all of them, but it's some of them. And I got the infamous issue 186 of Wally West Flash by Geoff Johns. It's infamous. I mean, I think it's mainly because of this cover, because this was a cover that was used on one of the trade paperbacks for the Geoff Johns trades of this run, of Wally West, and he's like stuck almost as if he's the thinker, like the statue, which I thought was really interesting. I've seen people bring up this cover, so I'm glad. I'm happy that I found that issue. And I have it in my collection now. So, and then I got, this one is issue 190, Death Follows the Piper. So this is, I found a cover that had like Pied Piper as a focus, and I'm like, this is a really nice cover, and I'm going to get it. So I got, so it's issue 186, issue 190, I got that. And then this one I want to get framed. This is issue 213 of Flash. I checked because I wasn't sure if that was red hair or blonde hair. So I got the issue out. I like briefly looked in it. I wanted to make sure this was Wally West Flash, and this is Wally West Flash in the book. So happy about that. And this one I want to have. I like the cover picture, and I want to have this framed eventually. So we got, okay, I got that. There were a couple issues, other issues. I got one that was Wally West joins. It says something about him joining. It's him holding up a badge, and it says "I'm with the IRS" or something like that. All right. So next, I got issues 11, 12, and I haven't read it yet, but I got issue 13 of Daredevil. Chip Zdarsky's run on this. I mean, I was a fan of Charles Soule's run, but Chip Zdarsky's run, he's been doing so much, like, in this new era. Like, first, the story starts where Daredevil's doing his usual thing. He's fighting criminals, but then I think he gets like a head injury. Something happens, and if I remember correctly, um, he gets disoriented. I know that he gets disoriented because I've read all these. He gets disoriented, and he ends up accidentally going too far with his fighting, and he accidentally kills someone. So, and he feels he has like guilt for that. He stops becoming Daredevil, and then these recent issues, he's been kind of starting to get back into at least fighting crime. Um, I've read 11 and 12. Elektra recently showed up, and she's gonna be like a mentor to him in the issues coming up. She's gonna help him train not to go, like, to control and not go too far where he would end up worrying or end up accidentally killing somebody again. Because he has that fear. It's not that he's going to do it again, but he has that fear that he's going to do it again. So she shows up, and she's going to train him to not become that, and that's going to be really cool. Um, I mean, it's doing at least more with her than she didn't really show up that much in Charles Soule's run, so that's going to be interesting to see what they do with her in this. So next I got, let's see. Oh, and speaking of Elektra, I got this legendary. I don't know if it's a legendary or if I don't think it's worth anything, but I got Elektra issue 1. This was of her miniseries in 1996. And I love Elektra. I love a lot of the Daredevil characters, but I really like Elektra too. So I found this cover and I thought, I was like, oh, it's an issue 1 and it's Elektra, and I was like, I gotta have it. So, and this might be I don't know if it'll be one that I'll frame, but it'll be one that I'll be really happy to have collected. So we got that. Next on the thing, I was trying to find issue 1 of Nightwing. This is the oldest of this first ongoing run that I could find. So I got Nightwing issue 5 by Chuck Dixon. So, and I got that, and then I know it's probably not worth anything, but I also got the New 52 Nightwing issue 1 by Kyle Higgins. And I know he acts a bit more, I've heard that he acts a bit more like Jason Todd in this run over funny, quippy Dick Grayson. But, I mean, it's an issue 1, and, like, they've moved on. They're not doing New 52 anymore because it's Rebirth, and it's post-Rebirth. So this might be worth a little bit more now than what it was. Who knows? But I got those two. Okay, next I'm almost through. I don't have much left. I got issues 1 and 2 of Spider-Man Velocity, and this it's nothing like really groundbreaking, but it's still pretty good. And the story is supposed to show how he got the Velocity suit that's in the game, and it also serves as a. To me, it also serves. It serves as a continuation, um, post Spider-Man PS4 game, the story of that. I don't know if it's after City of War or not. No, not City of War. City of War was the miniseries adaptation of the game. I don't know if it's after the DLC stories. It might be before that. So, but I got that, and that's pretty good. And this is by I think Daniel Hopeless. I think is his name, or Hopeless is like a nickname or something. So I got the first 2 issues of that. Next thing I got it for special because my local comic book store has been doing sales all month, and I had gotten this comic when it was an ongoing. I have all 24 issues, and I was really sad when it was canceled. I was really sad when it was canceled because it was a really good story. It was a really interesting new idea, and that is New Superman by Gene Luen Yang, and he also at one point wrote Superman. He wrote Clark Kent Superman. But this is pretty good. I like the story, and this was about because it was called New Superman because I think this was right at the time when the start of the story. I think is after when the New 52 Superman died, but before the whole stuff with the Rebirth Superman came back. So it was like, and it was also this main story is that um, it's supposed to be China wants to make their own have their own Superman, and that's like he's the Superman of China. So character is Kenan Kong. He is 17, I believe. And it's in the book. He's 17. I like the costume too, the reds and the dark red and the black. It's really nice. So the story starts off. He is a bully, but then when he gets these powers, he starts becoming more responsible and becomes a better person and whatnot because of it. And I find that really interesting that he doesn't start off as this goody two shoes, good, morally good person, but he starts off as a bad person who becomes good. So I think that's really nice. And this collects the first 6 issues. But this was a really good book. This was a really good what I've read of it. I enjoyed it from start to finish, and I really hate that freaking DC canceled it, because you could tell by near the end of the book there was more planned. There was more planned, and it had to get cut short because DC canceled the book. And it's really sad because this was a really good book. So I really enjoyed it. And then they like at one point they bring in the Wonder Woman of China, and then the Batman of China. So, and like I said, it's really good, and hopefully at one point I can be lucky enough to find the other trades. The last thing I got, and I'm gonna have to, I don't know if I have enough time to look through. I got this free Marvel sample thing that has like upcoming previews and stuff. So this has Marvels, which I have barely any clue. I know it's a follow-up to something, to another story, but I don't really care. Here's Charles Soule's Star Wars thing. I do know this might actually be worth people's time, because Charles Soule wrote the Darth Vader stuff, the recent Darth Vader books, and people love those. I don't know why it's looking so blurry. Okay. He wrote the Darth Vader books, and this new Star Wars ongoing. Let's see if I can zoom in. It starts right after Empire Strikes Back, so that's going to be interesting seeing him cover the story between Empire and almost the Last Jedi, not Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi, the better Jedi film. It'll be. I mean, I don't know. I'll probably won't pick it up, but I mean, maybe I might get a trade or something down the line, or maybe if Marvel Insider has books that are on you can redeem for points. If they have like a trade or an issue on where you can redeem for points, I'd be like, sure, I'll pick it up. Like, I'll redeem it. And I liked, as I said, I liked his Daredevil work too, so I'm willing to give that a try. Okay, it's a Conan book. I don't know why it's suddenly looking so. Wait, there we go. It's a bit better, I guess. It just looks so blurry. And Matthew Rosenberg is doing a new Hawkeye book. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't even know. One thing I really hate is that Marvel goes and they make books. They claim they're ongoings. Oh, is there a preview for it? Okay, there's a preview. So I mean, if there's a preview, I mean, I might read it. I might read this preview at least. I don't know if I'm gonna get the book. I do like Hawkeye. I liked him on Earth's Mightiest Heroes at least. So let's see. We got that. People had some issue with his X-Men stuff. I don't know. I told him about. I even called him out on, like, I mentioned something and then he tweeted at me, and then it started a big thing, and then he tried pointing. This was back in like March, I think. Then he tried blaming the whole thing, like, "Oh, you're ruining my dinner." It's like, you shouldn't be, like, if you're gonna do that, you shouldn't be talking to me then. You shouldn't be wasting your time. You're the one who keeps replying to me. If you don't, you could just ignore me. You don't have to reply to me every time. Alright, so this is Iron Man 2020 from what I've been able to read. Apparently in one of the runs, where is it at? In one of the runs of Iron Man, it was supposed to be something that Tony was actually adopted, and that he wasn't the birth son of Howard and Maria Stark, and that the lead character is the actual birth son of them. And I'm like, were fans okay with this? I mean, I don't really care about Iron Man, but I mean, I don't know if fans were just accepting of that. So I don't think it's gonna last. I mean, it's like they're trying to do like, oh, a whole bunch of Iron Man books in this lineup. Like they're trying to do like House of X, Powers of 10 type deal, where they have a bunch of books, but it's like giving Riri a book with the same writer. So I mean, I can say this: I'm happy that Riri got a better writer, and the writer basically rebooted her character, and the character's actually better now compared to before. So that's something, but I don't think this Iron Man stuff is Iron Man whatever thing is gonna last. There's Annihilation. I'm not familiar with that story. Beta Ray Bill. I don't know what this Ravencroft stuff is. I don't know if it's. Let me see. Okay, criminally. Okay, so it's like Arkham Asylum, but. Okay, so it's like Arkham Asylum, I guess. But I guess it ties into Absolute Carnage. Okay. Okay, I see. All right, so Fisk is in the book, so that's interesting, I guess. Okay, and then you got Peter Porker, Spectacular Spider-Man. It's gonna probably just be a glorified ongoing. They'll say it's an ongoing, but it'll probably be like a maxi series. It'll be like 12 to 16 issues. If it can get more, that would be great. But I don't usually when it comes to like when it comes to characters that are not quite like Doctor Strange or not quite like major lead characters, and they just have this random character get an ongoing, they never usually most of the time they never last past 12 to 16 issues. Every time it's either 12 issues or 16 issues. Okay, Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme. That looks interesting. I don't know what this is from. Oh, it's Surgeon Supreme. Okay. Freaky monster. Ugh. It's in black and white. So, what else do we have? We got Venom. Oh, and back a couple pages. And we're already at the end of the book. A couple pages. So, Donny Cates will be working on Thor as well. So, that's going to be interesting. Alright, so that's all that I got. I'm glad that I was finally able to do this video. Because my tablet's been low for the past day or two, and I had to wait till it was like fully charged, and I had the time and whatnot to do all this. But I got all that done. I have 2 other videos that I'm gonna probably do here soon. I want to do a video that is like that. I want to do a live stream. Actually, I want to do a live stream of me on Twitter looking through all of the Disney Plus, like the big thread of stuff from Snow White all the way to The Mandalorian about every single thing, and then talking about it and stuff. And as I've said before, I hate Disney. I hate Disney. I am trying out this Disney Plus free trial, and I'm actually gonna be subscribed for a month at least after that. Might even try the Hulu Plus Disney Plus bundle that's $12.99 because that'd be good value and whatnot. You can, like I said, I still hate the company, but I'll say this: they got a great variety of content. They got a big variety of content, and they've been fixing up problems with it so far. Like there was glitches on like the PS4 that I have, and then my tablet, and whatnot. But updates have been rolling out, and glitches have been getting fixed, and other stuff's been going on. So I was gonna do a live stream talking about that, and I'm like, I was gonna have the video like in the description will say it's okay to like Disney Plus as long as you aren't a shill. Like there's been people bitching about like people Disney shills or whatever bitching to people that aren't getting it, saying that saying stupid shit. I don't know. I can't remember what exactly they've been saying, but they've been saying like, "Oh, then you hate this company, or you are sexist or racist or some other bullshit. So anyways, I'm gonna do a video about that and do a live stream of that, and then I'm thinking about doing a live stream that is Marvel Future Fight, where I'm doing Shadowland, and it's gonna be like week 1 of doing this Shadowland stuff. Alright, so I actually had to delete Marvel Future Fight briefly just so I could do this extra long video and show off all the stuff. So that's about it. This is Edward West Summers. I'm gonna be doing some other videos soon, and we'll see where we're going to go from there. It's Edward West Summers, Crimson Prince, signing out. Bye.